everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Chaos 1/12 scale National Defender. This is a third-party, unlicensed Superman from the Dark Knight Returns. It's a 1/12 scale cloth soft goods Mezco style figure. This is the first thing I've gotten from the Chaos line. There's also a Batman coming very soon. I ordered this from Toys Metaverse, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, National Defender, 1/12 scale collectible figure. Beyond 6 inches, Chaos. Superman, that sort of big, swole Dark Knight Returns version. Looks like he's beating the shit out of somebody and there's blood going everywhere. National Defender, Chaos, first figure in the Chaos line. Other side, same thing. At the back, we have what looks like a nuclear bomb hitting Superman. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with 7 alternate hands, totaling 9 interchangeable hands, a total of 3 heads, a removable cape, Batman's armored cowl, and then a kryptonite arrow. He also has a couple of batteries for, I believe, both the Batman cowl and his angry eyes. So far, this guy seems really awesome. He looks and feels really good. Before I take a look at all those accessories, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Superman from the Dark Knight Returns, although he's called National Defender because they don't have an officially licensed Warner Brothers DC product and they can't actually call him Superman. But it's pretty damn obvious who he's supposed to be. He has the Superman logo on his chest, the uniform, Batman accessories, etc. So let's take a closer look. Now, start with his head. It looks great. He's a big buff, swole Superman. And he's not like ridiculously swole, but it looks very appropriate for the Dark Knight Returns. A little bit of an older, grizzled Clark. Face is very serious. He's got the spit curl at the top. Head sculpt looks amazing and fairly accurate to the stylized Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. The Superman logo on the chest. You can sort of see his muscular definition underneath his suit. The suit is very tight, but it seems like it does a good job of allowing for the articulation. It looks like maybe it's single jointed elbows. Knees look to be double jointed. You can see the boots here. A little bit of sort of dirty weathering going on there. Very nicely done. I like the outfit. I like the way the figure feels. And I like his proportions. So far, so good. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. Very well done. Sometimes these third-party figures have such passion behind them. They come out great. Sometimes not quite so much. This seems to be one of the better ones. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. Let's go and start off by attaching his cape. Now the cape looks very nice. It has the same Superman logo on the back, a couple little clamps to attach the front, and it looks like it's kind of pleated. Has a bendy wire on either side. Looks to be pretty nice quality. So, I believe I attached the cape properly. Now that was not fun nor easy. Here's my first complaint about the figure, and hopefully it will be my last. So, in order to attach the cape, you kind of got to pull down his torso, and there are these 2 little slots. The cape has some plastic on there, insert them into the slot, but it doesn't really stay very sturdily. This side already started to get some stress marks, and I put a dab of glue on both sides and shoved it as far as it go, and now it's pretty stable. But when you pull a shirt up, it's kind of noticeable how it sort of has, I don't know, like a little top lip here. Not super noticeable, and I don't know if I sort of moved around, maybe it looked better, but the higher I put it up, the more you can sort of see that top layer here, and that kind of sucks. I feel like they definitely could have made a better way to attach the cape. From far, not too bad. I don't know. Like I said, I think they could have made a better way. If you look at it from above, you can sort of see that little plastic piece a little better on his right side. You pretty much have to glue it or that thing's going to continue to pull its way out. And if you're not careful, you could easily snap the plastic and then you have a whole world of problems to deal with. So I'd say that went probably about as best as it could have gone. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 9 of them, 5 left hands and 4 right hands. Here's his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. These are some rather large hands, could be grabbing or lifting something up. And his next pair of hands, these are some grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. Here's his next pair of hands, this pair of flat, outstretched flight hands. And he has one additional left hand. This is a very small gripping hand intended to hold the kryptonite arrow. Now let's look at his heads. He has 3 of them. One with a normal expression, one with an angry expression, and one with an angrier, screaming expression. Here he is with his first head. This one has the normal expression. And here's his second head. This one has the angry expression. And here's his third head. This one has the angrier, screaming expression. And then there's a light-up effect. If you put this battery underneath the screaming head, nothing really happens. It's kind of weird, but if you take the Batman armored mask that has a magnet inside of it and sort of touch it to the battery, the eyes light up, and it gives you a really cool effect. And here he is with the lit-up eyes in a semi-lit room, and then in a completely dark room. And honestly, the way this works doesn't really make a lot of sense in my head. So you have this piece here, and it comes with a battery. Slide the battery in there, and then nothing really happens. It does come with a spare battery here. Now inside this armored mask is a magnet, and if you sort of touch the magnet onto there, it like lights it up. Like I said, I don't fully really get how it works. And sometimes it works better than others. So there you go, you get it lit up. And then bam, you take this head, pop it on top, and the eyes are lit up. Now it just sort of turned off. Take this helmet, kind of, there you go. It activates it. Like I said, I don't really fully understand it, but that's how that works. It does look pretty damn cool though. And that'll leave us with 2 more accessories. We have the armored Batman cowl, which, as you saw earlier, has a magnet inside that will activate the light-up eyes. It has sort of a handprint in the back, so Superman can hold this thing as he ripped it off Bruce Wayne. Then we have this kryptonite arrow. Oliver Queen, the former Green Arrow, teamed up with Batman. He was a hero that Superman sort of put down, uses laser vision to cut his arm off, sort of making him unable to be Green Arrow anymore. He's held a grudge and was happy to help Batman take down Superman. Kryptonite arrow at its finest. The feathers look pretty good as well. Here's a look at Superman, angry, holding that Batman cowl, ripped it right off Bruce's head. Here's a look at Superman, holding that kryptonite arrow. No idea what to expect next. Now to talk about his cape, and I've already talked about his cape, how much I hate the way it connects. I think that's the worst thing about the figure, and it looks a little bit awkward at the top. But I mean, look at him right now. It doesn't look that bad, and I can even lay it down a little more flush. So, beyond that complaint, the cape looks pretty good. You can see it's sort of pleated on the sides. It's a Superman logo on the back, and has a bendy wire on either side, allowing you to take different various poses. Personally, I like to have the cape sort of flowing in the wind. The cape itself can stretch out about that far. Now, if you want it flowing in the wind, the easy way to do that is just take your finger, wrap it up, wrap it back down, and then around again. Take the other side, sort of push it up like so, and bam, you have an easy makeshift version of his cape flowing in the wind. I could spend a little bit of time making it look better, but this looks pretty damn good as is. The wire's not quite as strong as McFarlane wires, but it gets the job done. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. And I was definitely curious, is he going to be one of those smaller 6-inch figures or one of the taller versions? And he is quite tall, which is great by me. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.9 inches tall, which could translate to around 17.5 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up, not too much, down a very good amount. I guess he can go up a little bit further than I initially thought. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. If you want to get him to a flight pose, take him, lean his torso up, which is very nicely done, and his head forward. He can actually look straight ahead while flying. Every Superman figure should be able to do that, but most can't. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up way more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a little bit of forward and back motion, not much. Bicep cut below that. Feels like single jointed elbow. It goes in about 90 degrees. Look how strong the bicep is. His wrist can rotate. It's also hinged. In his torso, he has a ball joint. Rotate around, forward and back. Very nice. Another one is waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion. The cloth soft goods does such a good job of being tight but also stretchy at the same time. Legs complete as splits. They go forward and not very much. Back not at all. He's got a little bit of thigh rotation there. It is double jointed knees. They go back about that far. Then his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate in the boot cut at least a little bit. Then tilt rock in the ankle a little bit as well. Here's a look at Superman hovering above the skies of Metropolis. And here's that national defender in front of the American flag, holding Batman's helmet as a trophy, eyes lit up. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some of the Dark Knight Returns Superman figures. Here's this Chaos Toys Dark Knight Returns Superman next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse version. And here he is next to the DC Direct Dark Knight Returns Superman, which they made 2 versions of. Then, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse version. Next, with the Mafex version, which they also made 2 different versions of. Here are 5 different versions of the Dark Knight Returns Superman by McFarlane, DC Direct, Chaos Toys, Mattel, and Mafex. Here's Superman, next to a few different versions of the Armored Batman from the Dark Knight Returns, McFarlane, Mattel, and Mafex. Superman is a little bit too tall with the Mattel and the Mafex, and maybe a little bit too short with McFarlane. But an armored Batman should be a little bit bigger than Superman as he's in this big, bulky armored suit. Now Chaos Toys is making Dark Knight Returns Batman, but it's not this armored version. It's the one of the regular suit, which I would prefer, but if you want to have the 2 fighting, you really need the armored Batman. Whenever I get one of these third-party, unlicensed 1/12 scale cloth soft goods figures, I always want to compare them to Mezco Toys. Mezco Toys are some really top-notch 1/12 scale cloth soft goods figures. And I would say this Chaos Toy is very nice as well. I would say he's right up there with Mezco quality, maybe even a tad superior. I think Muff Toys are my favorite third-party figures, but Chaos is off to a really good start, especially considering this is their first release. Here he is with several different Mezco Batman figures. He's just a tiny bit bigger than them. And here he is with several different Mezco Batman Rogues. Now let's check him out next to some other third-party, unlicensed 1/12 scale action figures. Here's this Chaos Dark Knight Returns Superman next to a couple of Muff Toys Clark Kent figures. These are top-notch quality, all 3 of them. And speaking of Muff Toys, here he is next to a Muff Toys Kryptonite Seeker, Nightmare Batman from Batman vs Superman. Chef's kiss to this figure, it is so damn good. Here he is next to the Extreme Toys Arkham Asylum Joker. Next, with the CY7 Dark Knight's Metal Grim Knight. And here he is next to a Joyman Toys 1/12 scale Alfred Pennyworth. And speaking of Joyman Toys, here he is next to a Joyman Toys Dark Knight Returns third-party Batman. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Chaos Toys 1/12 scale figure, he's a 6-inch scale figure, although he's kind of closer to 7 inches. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger, and I'm going to include as many Superman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts action figures. And now, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mafex Superman figures. Here's Superman next to a honey bun. And here he is with some Mattel and Mezco Superman figures. Then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. And now with some DC Direct and NECA Superman figures. Next with some Diamond Select Toys and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And finally with some McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman figures. So overall, this is a very nice Superman figure. My only complaints about him would be, number 1, the way the cape attaches, and I think that's a gross oversight on their part. And number 2 would be, the Kryptonite arrow is very thin. Be extremely careful with that when putting it in and out of his hand. And number 3 would be the light-up eyes. It works great, but I don't fully understand how it works. The magnet sort of activates it, and I have a hard time activating and inactivating it. I really just took the battery out to turn it off, and when I want it on, I put the battery in, get it activated, and you're good to go. Now, his articulation is fantastic. He can achieve a flight pose looking forward. He has pretty much all the bells and whistles, except for a single jointed elbow. At least I believe it is. Maybe his biceps are just so big that it doesn't let it move that much. The cloth soft goods is excellent. It's really tight, but loose enough to allow full articulation, but doesn't look baggy. They nailed that. The accessories are great. Articulation's great. Sculpted paint job, great. Action light up features, pretty good. Now, if I were to rate this guy, if it weren't for the cape, I'd give him a 9 out of 10. But because the cape is not done nearly as well as I'd like, I'm going to drop him down to an 8. It's a really, really nice figure. Looking forward to seeing what they do with the Batman, and looking forward to other 1/12 third-party releases in their future. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.